Libations to the ancestors. Why? Every once in a while, if you smoke, sometimes you're going to cough. Hamada, hamada, hamada. But so I'm going to try and talk without coughing because I still eat cheese and my body's I'm eating eggs and I create mucus, so when you smoke, all that shit gonna come out. If you eat the hot taste like hot peppers, all that shit gonna come out. See, balance. I do shit, but I do shit to balance the shit that I do. That's what you do. But anyway, why do I smoke? You see, well, I have created a whole concept. Well, I didn't create the concept. I didn't create the concept. I've created a kung fu, which cannabis is the foundation. It's not like drunken style where you act like you high off of, you understand? The spirituality is based in self-realization. So the herb is a tool. But the way I'm using it at the beginning of my videos, we can say that is like, I don't like to use the word lowest, but it is the lowest vibration. But when you live around the country and you're a teacher, like I was, I'm not teaching except here on this video. You come to realize that so-called Barak people all over the world, but I'm just worried about African Americans right now. All over this country, black people smoke. So my spiritual teacher taught me that if you're going to teach people, you go to where their heads is at. Now, of course, I'm just doing videos, so I can, like, don't smoke that marijuana. I could be on the video acting all righteous and shit, and then I'll be behind the scenes like, no, dude, this herb is something from another star system, if you will. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. But smoking like this, recreationally, um, is a part of my system. I'm trying to think of a better word, but system. It's part of the Kung Fu system, it's part of the self healing system. Because the recreational part, just the smoking, has its place in life. It's about, oh, let me smoke and chill the hell out. Well, Leah, get the hell out of the chill. Just chill. The hell is out. But anyway, so, but, but, there are higher, no pun intended, ways of using this herb. This that I do at the beginning, just the smoking, is like an introduction, and because again, most black people across this country have been introduced to this herb through smoking it. Now, out here on the West Coast, a lot of people know about bongs and stuff. On the East Coast, where I grew up and came up and started teaching and stuff, most people were into joints when I was coming up, and then later on they got into blunts. Maybe downtown, the people that hang out with Caucasus Asians, maybe they got into the bong and stuff. Actually, we did in the 70s, but it wasn't a water bong so much as it was like just a big, like an Indian thing. I remember us having, and it was like 8 things coming out, and it was a big ass bowl, and we put a bunch of herb in there, and everybody was smoking, but it was still wasn't about having the water. So that's another level of smoking the herb. It's a healthier way of smoking the herb with the bong. So that's the next level I'm going to get into, which gets really deep because they tell us that it's named a bong, which is a word that comes from India. And so they try to tell us that this herb comes from India and Asia. They always leading us somewhere else. But when you study this, and you go back to the first oldest medical books in Kemet, which they call ancient Egypt, the oldest medical book. I'm not just talking. I have the pictures. It says that this herb in the Neter Kemet temple came from the star system, or the Sirius star system. I'm serious. You understand? They say it's, and then, even if it didn't, the oldest bong so far was found in Ethiopia. The place where they say the actual black Jesus, that Christian stuff actually started. So people read a book, one, and they know everything. Wow. I'm like, wow, I'm 66 years old. I'm trying to catch up. Because I don't know everything. I know some shit. I think I know pieces of the whole. I think I know each piece of the whole. But in each piece of the whole, like this one piece, herbalism alone. I mean, God. Oh, holy gosh. Just herbalism alone, you can spend your whole life learning about herbs and plants and what they do your whole life. Imagine now there are a lot of different parts to your life, not just herbalism, that's one part. Then there's food. Then there's just movement, how to move correctly, not walking around like this all day. And when you read the book, your shoulders is like tensed up until you get my age, and then you got all this tension in your neck, and you be like, why is there tension in my neck? Well, look at your shoulders. You understand? There's different parts of being healthy and all that good shit. So, I am not telling people to use this herb, but if you do use this herb, then learn how to use it not only on the lowest level. I have to say this. I really don't like saying low. Well, let's say lowest vibration, because the vibration can be risen. You know, down here we're just smoking for recreation. Up here we're smoking in a different manner and using it for medicine. This herb is so fantastic. I didn't even get into all that. The medicine, the health effects, the immortality, what I say at the beginning of some of my videos, when I say divine marijuana brings immortality, I'm not saying that just because. Do the research on the science of how they're saying that this herb, not a weed, herb, I call it the holy herb, it has youth preserving properties, etc., etc. The hemp seeds, the most nutritious thing that you could probably live off hemp seeds. In hemp, hemp foods. You could make so many things out of this plant and the hemp. Between the marijuana and the hemp, that is salvation for the black people of America. Grow this plant, eat this plant, drink this plant, smoke this plant, make clothes out of this plant, make homes out of bricks, make homes out of this plant, self-sufficiency, self-help, self. Do for self and kind. I'm out. What? Peace. Which way? See, this way is like, fuck this shit. But, peace. I'm out.